Okay. Good afternoon, Miss Hernandez.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jones.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. As you know, I was in your class back on October 9th, and I did some observation, and I just want to share some of my data from what I took down in your classroom. I enjoyed my visit there, by the way. Okay. So some successes that I saw in your class were that all your students were very engaged in the lesson that you were teaching. Me knowing the students from last year, it's a difference in the level of engagement that your students were in. So very good for that. When asked, students, they were able to justify and explain their thinking to other students. That is awesome. It displays their knowledge of whatever skill that they're learning. You did clear misconceptions throughout the lesson with relating addition to subtraction. You answer students' questions, and you kind of did a lot of pre-work to kind of teach where the misconceptions wouldn't arise through your lessons. I did see that. Very good. You reminded students of remaining time throughout with the use of a timer. I thought that was really good to keep you on track, keep them on track. It's like, okay, that's the guided. Now let's move on to the independent, and let's move on to the stations. Awesome work. You referenced a word wall during the lesson. Your students really utilized the classroom as a resource, and they had manipulatives. They know I can look at the word wall, so I think that gives them a sense of a true learning environment for them. You work through the 4-step model through problem solving with them during your warm up. And then you pose a challenge to them. You pose a challenge by asking them, what is a number sentence that you could use to help solve 29 minus 11? That kind of opened up your lesson. I thought that was really good because students are accustomed to saying, I can use manipulatives to help me solve. I can use counters. But when you specifically ask, what's another number sentence to help me solve, that really set the stage for you relating addition to subtraction. I thought that was very good. You provided praise to your students, and then students, like I mentioned earlier, had access to manipulatives in the classroom. Okay, so one of the things that I did find, we had some areas of growth. Let me find that. I have it right here. Did I give it back to you? One moment. I do have yours right here. We can use this copy. So it was just one area of growth that stood out. And in math, a lot of teachers, make the same kind of error when teaching. And that is when you were modeling how to solve a number sentence, you wanted students to solve with you 39 plus 10, and you asked how did you solve this number. You told students to add the 9 and the 0 together, which equaled 9. Okay, then you told students to add 3 and 1 together, which will give you 4, and both numbers were in the tens place. And so my suggestion is, okay, so tell me what you think about that. Just me giving you feedback.
So this is the thing.
Okay.
We have been discussing how to do, like, for example, 39 plus 10, 39 plus 9, you know. But the thing is that when I said, let's say 9 plus 0 is 9, right? But then when I said, well, let's look at the tens place. 4 plus 1 is 4. But what's my value? 40, right? What I was getting the misconception with them was that they were placing on the sum, they were placing 40 and then the number. So I was getting like 400 and something. Okay. So now we are on point now. Okay. So now, but they know, if you ask them, okay, so what's your place value for the ones? They'll tell you.
Okay.
What's your place value for the 2? you know, and then they'll, I mean, for the tens, and they'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
But we had to basically like scaffold
it. Yeah, and so that's my suggestion here. I put my suggestion is to say I have 3 tens in this number and 1 10 in this number, which will give me 4 tens. Or say I have 3 tens in this number, which is 30, and 1 10 in this number, which is 10, and that gives me 40. Right. And only because the way our teaks are written, place value, of course, it's always been important. But just for them to get that true understanding of, okay, she said 3 and 1. One kid may believe that you're talking about the ones place and say, I don't have a 1 and a 3 in the ones place, when you already told them 9 and 0 were in the ones place. So I'm going to let you see a model video quickly.
Okay.
And I just want you to tell me what is the difference in the way you
did it versus them.
Yes. Okay.
Kind of good.
Yep.
So the number 23, we have a 2 in the tens place. So that 2 literally represents 2 tens, and we see it right over here. We have 2 groups of 10 blocks. This is a 10, and this is a 10. So this 2 literally represents 2 tens, 1 10 and 2 tens. Now this 3 is in the ones place, and it represents 3 ones right over here. 1, 2, 3 blocks. And of course, if you had 3 ones together with 2 tens, these 2 tens represent 20. 3 ones represent 3, so you get 23. So let's write that down. So we could write down that 23 is equal to 2 tens, 2 tens, plus 3 ones, plus 3 ones. Now what would happen if I added 20?
And this is where your model comes into play, right here.
So let's say, actually let me do something more interesting. Let's say we take 23, and to that we add 30. So let's add 3, 0, 3, 0. So what is this going to be? Well, I start with 23, which I have represented here, and I'm going to add 30. 30 has 3 in the tens place, so it literally means I'm going to add 3 tens, and I'm going to add 0 ones. So let me add those 3 tens. So that's 1 10. This is 2 tens, and then that is 3 tens. So I've added 1, 2, and 3 tens here. So now, how many tens do I have? Well, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. And notice, 2 tens plus 3 tens is equal to 5 tens. So now I have 5 tens. And how many ones do I have? Well, I still have those 3 ones, and you can think of it this way. 3 ones plus 0 ones is still going to be 3 ones. 3 ones. So what's 23? What's 23 plus 30 going to be? Let me rewrite it. 23 plus 30 plus 30 is going to be equal to, well, 5 tens. We could just write that as a 5 in the tens place, represents 5 tens, or 50. And then we're going to have 3 ones. Oops, let me do that in the ones color, that orange color, and 3 ones. So 23 plus 30 is 53. You have 2 tens plus 3 tens give you 5 tens. 3 ones plus 0 ones is equal to 3 ones.
Yeah, stop there. Okay. So.
Hello, kids, and welcome to the Place Value House.
Oh, no. Okay,
Today we are talking about ones and tens.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to think about the way you taught it, and what was the difference in the way you taught it and the
What
way
I saw.
Yes.
The only way that I would think about it would be instead of just saying writing the, let's say the 3, I would be 3 tens plus and write the word 3 tens so that they can differentiate between both of those.
Very good. Okay. Instead of just writing the 3, you're gonna put the place value.
Yeah.
Right.
So for example, on your example right there,
Mhm.
he puts in like 2 tens plus 3 tens. So instead of just putting 2 plus 3, it'll be 2 tens plus 3 tens equals whatever tens.
Okay.
Whatever word we were just discussing.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because I think you've done the pre-work to where he had the models, he had drawn them and everything. I just think that when you're going over a problem, because they are in 2nd grade, it's very important that they constantly connect place value to those numbers and the places that they are in. So I just want to make sure we punch out all the ideas. And you said definitely attach the place value to each number that you're adding, right?
Yes.
Or write the place value. Write and say the place value. Of each number being added or subtracted, right?
Subtracted. But I wouldn't start with tens and ones like he did. I always tell him to start ones, then tens, then hundreds, because that's gonna, whenever we do subtractions, that's going to help them to be organized.
Right, and that was just an addition. Like you said, and that'll just train them for subtraction. Already starting in the ones place, right? Okay, so we're gonna practice a little bit right now. Okay. So I'll do it for you, and then you're gonna get an opportunity to practice with me. Okay. So I have a blank sheet of paper here, and my problem is going to be, and remember, what we're doing is emphasizing the place value when adding. So I'm going to do 23 plus 15, right? And I'm gonna multiply. Okay, class, we're going to add 23 plus 15, okay? What numbers do you see in the ones place? What number do you see in the ones place in the number 23?
3.
Okay, and so I'm going to write 3 here, and I'm going to underline it, okay? And what number do you see in the ones place in the number 15? 5. I'm going to underline it, and I'm going to write it here. I'm going to write a plus sign. Okay. And now let's look at the tens place. What number do you see in the tens place for the number 23?
2.
2, right? 2 what?
Tens.
2 tens, right? And why do we call that 2 tens?
Because it's in the tens place.
It's in the tens place, and we have 2 of them. So when I write that, do I write 2?
No,
what do I write? I write 2 tens, which is what in standard form? 20. Very good. So I'm going to box that so I know that's what I'm writing. And then in the number 15, what number do I have in the tens place?
1.
And 1 what?
110.
110. And how do I write that in standard form?
10.
Which consists of 1, 0, right? Okay, very good. So now I'm going to go back to my 3 plus 5 number sentence, and I'm going to write that, and then 3 plus 5 ones equal 8 ones. And remember, we want to continue to attach our place value to it. And then we have 2 tens plus 1 10 equals what? 3 tens. 3 tens. Right? Okay. And so when I add 3 tens plus 8 ones, I'm going to say 3 tens plus, 8 ones. I'm going to write it in standard form down here. 3 tens equals what? 30. And then 8 ones equals 8. My answer is what? 38. Okay?
Okay.
So you remember those steps?
That's a lot of steps.
Okay. So then
Okay.
So you can
Can I tell you a few
yes,
facts? Okay. So on my, I would love to do this. However, if my kids are past this part,
okay.
so this would only work with my AM class.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Because we've already went over this. So
Okay.
I think now is just more re-emphasizing the vocabulary
Yes.
and clarifying with the tens place and the ones place.
Okay.
So if I did this, right?
Okay.
So,
And I'm your student now.
so you're my student. So
Okay.
let's say 23
Mhm.
plus 15, right?
Okay.
So boys and girls, we have 23 plus 15 today,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to work 23 plus 15 to be able to get our answer, our sum?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is in our, first we start with ones.
Mm-hmm.
So how many ones do I have on the number 23?
Three.
So 3 ones. Plus, what do we have on the 15? What is our ones place?
We have 5 ones.
5
on number
ones.
15.
5 ones. Okay, so 3 ones plus 5 ones equals
8 ones.
8 ones. Okay, so now let's look at our tens place.
Okay.
23, what's on our tens place?
In our tens place is a 2.
2. But the standard form for the tens, 2 tens is what?
20.
20. So we're going to put 2 tens and we're going to put 20 right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
15,
Mm-hmm.
what is in our place value for the 15?
I see a 1.
A 1.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 what?
110.
110.
Mm-hmm.
And the standard form for 110 is
10.
10. Okay, so 2 tens plus 110 is
3 tens.
3 tens.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about this. Now we have 2 tens plus 110,
Mm-hmm.
but we know that we really don't have 3 tens. What is the actual answer for 20 plus 10
Mm-hmm.
to get our tens place value?
It will be 30.
30.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have 30
Mm-hmm.
plus 8 ones. What is going to be our answer?
38.
38.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, we
Okay.
are also doing, some of my students, what they do is they break it down this way
Mm-hmm.
to decompose it
Mhm.
all, to add it in value.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are still using the visual,
Okay.
the model. So
Okay.
what they'll do is they'll do the tens place, the ones place,
Okay.
and what they'll do is they'll do 10, 20,
Okay.
and then they add 3 ones,
Okay.
like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then others will show me, because whenever they're doing this, they're justifying their answer in different
Different
ways.
ways. Uh-huh.
And then 15, and then they add.
Oh,
And then
okay.
that's-
They count it all.
Yeah,
up
they
together.
count it all together.
Okay.
And then they add 3 plus 5 equals 8. And then
Okay.
they basically come up to the same answer, which is 30
30.
plus 8 is 38.
Okay.
So I'm going to get this
and
or this.
Right, right. Okay, okay. And that's fine that you get this or this. Just when you're reviewing
Viewing,
it, just constantly
explain it.
attach that
Okay.
place value to it. This
Okay.
is awesome. And just like how we went through
Mhm.
these steps, so let's kind of go over what we just did, what you
Okay.
just did here. What was the first thing we did? We wrote the problem.
We wrote the problem.
And we wrote it what kind of way? Vertically or horizontally?
Horizontal.
Horizontal. I get it confused too.
Like, wait.
Yeah, we both did. So that's horizontal. My last principal told me, okay, think horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah. Horizontal. Oh, God. And the math people. Okay. So that was step 1. Step 2 is we asked.
We asked what the place value is for the ones place.
So each number.
Yes,
yeah.
for each number.
We asked the value. We asked the value of each number.
Of each number in
Each
in ones place, and then
X. Okay. The value of each number in the ones place.
the ones place.
And the tens
And
place.
then take the plus.
Okay, and what was the third thing we did?
Then we asked
We
them to clarify what 2 tens actually, what would be the standard for it.
Mhm.
clarify
what
the standard form would be for 2 tens.
the standard form would be for the values, right? The values.
Yes.
Example, 2 tens equals 20, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then what was our fourth step?
Our fourth step was adding the 20 plus the 10 was 30.
Okay, so the fourth step was adding
The tens place value.
in the ones
yeah.
place, adding tens in
Tens.
ones place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that we basically that
It's together.
is.
Okay, to get the answer.
To get the answer.
And even when you get the answer, I will still go back and reiterate 38.
Right.
Yes,
How do
and
we
what does
solve it?
38? Yeah, what does 38 consist of? 3 tens and 8 ones. And then as you progress and get to regrouping, you can take that 38. Could we regroup this in a different way? Do it always have to be 3 tens and 8 ones? And so that right there opens the door to supporting the regrouping that's about to come up in the
Yes.
curriculum. So definitely constantly attaching. So let's just review our 4 steps. We wrote the problem horizontally to lend itself to addition strategies, right? Number 2, we asked the value of each number in the ones and the tens place, right?
Yes.
And then they had to clarify what the standard form was for each number, right? So I'm going to go back to step 2. When we asked the value of each number in the place, how did we say that? Did we just say 3 or we attached the
Oh no, we have
place?
to show that
3.
it's 3 ones
Okay.
plus 5 ones equals 8 ones.
Good.
2 tens plus 1 10 equals 3 tens.
Okay, very good. Good. Okay. So that's 4 steps. And every day I know that you do a warm up, a model dealing with addition or subtraction. So the practice is going to be there for you to constantly be intentional with saying, okay, I have 3 tens, not just 3, because now that they know place value even more, 3 is literally 3, could possibly be 3 for some. Not knowing, okay, wait, she's operating in a tens place, so really she's saying 30 when she says 3.
Yes.
Or when it's the hundreds place, she's really saying 300 as opposed to 3 ones. Okay?
Yes.
So let me go to my next step. When do you want me to follow up?
Next one.
Not next week.
Right now I'm doing the
whenever.
number line,
Okay.
and so when do you want to go?
I'm open tomorrow afternoon
I would have
for
to
your
change
PM class.
I would have to change my. Yes.
I can do it, and it could be a warm up.
Okay.
Because it's not, it can be a warm up
Okay.
because it's just a practice. I know that that was what you taught last week, so definitely you can warm up with that kind of problem.
Oh, but we do number sense every day.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can
So
be
the
in your
beginning-
number talk. Yes,
Okay.
it can be any of that.
Oh, you can go to
Then
mine.
it's- Yeah, and then just always be intentional when scripting out your I do. Or now this week it was in your I do, your mini lesson. So being intentional with scripting out exactly what you want to say is going to force you and remind you to say it, because it's easy for us. I even make the mistake of getting up when I'm doing addition and saying what's 3 plus 2, 2, without attaching place value. And I've been victim of that, and when I taught. It wasn't until I intentionally script out exactly what I'm going to say to remind me. And now that we've had this big discussion about it, I'm sure it's going to always be in the forefront. Like, okay, 3 tens, this is 300s we're adding, not 3 ones, and that whole thing. So just be intentional when you're scripting out your lesson for that day. Even just put it on a sticky note. Always attach place value when I'm adding and subtracting with my students. Okay. You have any questions? So I'm going to follow up tomorrow and at your PM class, right?
Okay.
PM class, follow up.
Tomorrow's the 16th.
Yeah,
Yes.
10-16. And so we've practiced, we role played. Now, if you come across, before we close, if you come across like where kids are not saying the right thing, what do you think like you're gonna do? Like if they're saying, oh, and when we said 23, but they're not saying 2 ones or don't know the standard form to 2 tens. Let's just say hypothetically that occurs. What would be your way to intervene at that moment?
Well, this is the thing. Before I want them to use the vocabulary, I have to show them and model what I want. Okay, so when I get to that part, this is what I need you to say. Because it's 2 tens, what is that really on standard form? It's going to be 20.
Okay.
And so,
and
ask them. So basically, when we start our number sense, basically ask them, this is what I want you to start using from now on. Let's do one together. I'm going to show you what I want. Then, okay, now let's go ahead and do one by yourself. And then I'm going to basically guide them through this part.
Okay, cool. Using that vocabulary.
And so as we continue going over that as well.
Oh, that's good. I mean, you're going to build real rich foundational, place value foundational kids. You'll see, like, when they get to regrouping, they're going to be able to adjust those numbers, like, without a problem. Okay, so you said that you'll model first.
Model first.
Okay.
And then basically kind of like a mini lesson. Okay. Because they have to be able to know what I want.
Yes.
Because right now they know how to answer it.
Right.
And that's what we've been working on, showing your work. So everybody's accountable because everybody has a whiteboard.
Right. Oh, yeah. They sure did. Yeah, they have.
Everybody has to show their work.
So it'd be cool to see them putting like 2 tens plus 3 tens.
So I should be able to see exactly that.
And that's really helping you to stay. Like, yes, that's 3 tens and not just, that's 3. So that's awesome. So yes.
On their whiteboard, they can like go over it first and say, okay, now this is the steps that I want you to start showing me.
Okay.
And so we can organize it better because our numbers are going to be getting bigger.
Oh, yes.
So we need to be able to plan ahead now.
Yes.
So now we know the strategy. Now let's start using the vocabulary. Let's start organizing it so that we can move forward.
Right.
So that's the way that I can introduce it to them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, their questions like, we already know this.
Yes.
So no, now I need you to organize your work.
Right.
And this is going to be able to help you.
That's cool.
And that's so they can write this in their whiteboard, and so then they can just plug it in and they can read it.
And so one benefit is we already know it's going to be 4 steps only. So even if, like, had we not planned this out, it could have went long, because on this side you was like, oh, this is too many steps, but when you came over here, we've kind of condensed it all into 4 major steps, and that will get them to it. So just kind of think about that tonight, or this afternoon when you getting ready to do it during your number talk. Just think about the 4 steps and what you want them to accomplish in those 4 steps, and just see, practice while at home or here, and see if we can add a step, take a step away. You think this too much? Because we could always adjust it.
I think once I get to my class, I'll basically
get a feel. Yeah. So I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you think, because I'm not looking for perfection. I don't want you to think that. Because some of the kids may be like, wait, what? Like they know what standard form is when it's taught with expanded and word. They know what adding is when it's taught by itself. But when you start to combine concepts and skills and relating, things to other things, it's like, okay, wait. That's why I needed to know that for this. Yes, exactly. So it's kind of make that connection for them, and kind of keep us snowballing skills to build off other skills to help our students. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome.